Welcome to Oasis Pack News, where you can get all of your local Farmington news. Today we begin our program with Siberium, who will tell us about the current events happening in the Philippines, which have been hit by what people suspect to be the worst storm in recorded history.
Friday the 8th, Typhoon Haiyan hit the Philippines in a southeastward direction, destroying up to 80% of the island structures. It is estimated that 4.3 million people have been affected by this, and up to 2.5 million are starving and in fear. 1.5 million of those people are actually children, with their houses destroyed and left in fear of what's to come.
Typhoon Haiyan killed at least 10,000 people as it struck the Philippines at 200 miles per hour. The typhoon was a maximum Category 5 storm and affected up to 4.3 million people, and up to 500,000 people have completely lost their homes. This tragedy has forced the evacuation of 883,000 people in 11 central provinces to safe zones, and approximately 2.5 million people are in desperate need of food, says UN, and UNICEF estimates that 1.5 million children have been negatively affected. The super typhoon struck last Friday and flattened entire villages, leaving corpses rotting in trees and sweeping ships inland. Starvation and fear has left people so desperate as to loot shops and steal from the dead. Haiyan has supposedly destroyed anywhere from 70 to 80% of the structures in its paths. Bodies left on the streets have swelled under the sun, adding health risks to survivors. Teacher Andrew Pameta, 36, has stated, Tacloban is completely destroyed. Some people are losing their minds from hunger or losing their families. People are becoming violent. I am afraid that in 1 week, people will be killing from hunger. Mirasol Saui, 27, added, the huge waves came again and again, flushing us out onto the streets and washing away our homes. Despite help from the UN, UNICEF, and U.S. Marines, the situation grows ever more dangerous for the Filipino population as time passes.
Continue to watch this event as it unfurls. Now, we bring you Sam Beal, who will tell you about the newest internet craze.
The song that has the whole nation reeling with both delight and annoyance. That song that has people from all over asking a very confusing question. What does the fox say? The Norwegian comedy group Ylvis that made the song is hardly known outside of Norway, but their most recent viral video, which is entitled What Does the Fox Say?, has gotten them recognition as far here in America. The Norwegian comedy group that made the video, known as Ylvis, is hardly known outside of Norway, but with this most recent viral video, it has gotten recognition all the way over here in America. Like many viral videos that are made before it, it's cited for many interesting aspects like its catchy music, absurd, confusing lyrics, and tons of recognition. There are always people that love it and people that hate it. But what brought this song to be, and how did it get so much recognition? When we asked Ylvis about their ideas behind the song, they said that the idea for it stemmed from a genuine wonder of wondering, what does the fox say? Because they didn't know. As of November 13, 2013, a little more than 2 months after it was posted, the YouTube video has received over 213 million views worldwide and has even been featured on such talk shows such as Ellen. Overall, whatever the reasons behind the fox's recognition, it seems that it may be a while before people stop questioning what the fox really says.
Hydroponic gardening is a form of gardening that needs no dirt, only running water, sunlight, and a weekly addition of mineral solution. But did you know it's going on right here at our own school? Many of you may have seen the FHS greenhouses through the library windows, but few people know what actually goes on inside. Robert Van Aartsen, the president of the Interact Earth Club, who is in charge of the hydroponic gardens, is very proud of what they've done with them. Hi, Kizumi Bubu here with Robbie Van Aartsen, the president of Interact Earth. So what have we here?
Alright, so what we have here is our hydroponic systems. Our hydroponic systems we actually made by hand last year around late winter. It was Miss Meekum's idea originally, and when we first heard of hydroponic systems, we had no idea what they were. So we actually went to several colleges in the area to find out more about them, and we found the extent of what they could be, but some of them could be so huge that there's no way we could possibly fit them in our greenhouse. So we learned about smaller hydroponic systems, and after learning about someone who actually made his own hydroponic systems, we actually made the hydroponic systems ourselves, and are able to use just home materials to make it. So we used them until the end of last year and have now just about 3 weeks ago started using them again ourselves.
Okay. Alright, so how do the hydroponic systems work?
Alright, so the main idea behind the hydroponic systems is that we have water in these two 5-gallon buckets here, and the pumps we have in the buckets will pump water through the systems through these hoses to the end of the system up there. Then the water will drain through the systems and come back in here. What we have to do is, because the plants don't have dirt, that's where they get their nutrients in nature, we add pure nutrient substance to these buckets themselves. So then, once the nutrients are in the water, it can cycle through the systems continuously. It's called a continuous flow, ebb and flow system. And once the plants themselves are in a substance that is made from volcanic wool that allows the plants to grow freely through them, and they absorb water really well, so that as the water is going through the system, the wool absorbs the water, and then plants can have full access to the space they need and all the nutrients they need to grow very quickly. And because it's in wool rather than dirt, they have none of the ill effects that dirt has, which would have bugs that could hurt the plants and other diseases that the plants could obtain from in the dirt and other foreign substances.
What kind of plants do we have in here right now?
We actually have with us right now up to 4 different types of lettuce that we're growing, so we can find out what lettuce grow best with our hydroponic systems we have now.
Alright, so where do you see our hydroponic system going?
Alright, at first we originally just wanted to know what hydroponics were and if we were able to utilize our greenhouse we have here. So once we realized last year how well they grew here, some of the plants after being fully grown, after we trimmed them back, when they were only about this big after being trimmed back, they'd actually get to be around this big within 1 week's time. So we almost had so much food we didn't know what to do with last year. So this year we're planning on, once the plants are ready, and we trim them back each week, we give them to the foods class, so that the foods class would use organic food grown by students for students. So that is one of our plans, and the other one is once we have more space in the room, we'll be able to buy some more systems from a new shop that came into town recently. And once we have that, then we'll have twice as much space that we'll be able to grow hydroponic food in. And hopefully in the future we'll be able to get more people to join the project as well, so that can continue on through the future.
Alright, thank you for your time. Hydroponic gardening is a helpful green addition to Farmington society. This effort put forth into this garden inspires eco-friendly behavior throughout the community.
Thank you, Casey, for that delightful story. And now we'll be right back after these messages.
Have you ever sat down and realized you left something you needed across the room?
Oh, darn. My pencil.
With the Force Cloak, that is never a problem again.
Oh, darn. My pencil. Yes.
Fun.
And you never have to worry about being attacked by a horde of ninjas ever again. Only $49.99. Order now at 1-800-01-FORCE. That's 1-800-01-FORCE. Have you ever wished you could speak another language? Well, that is no longer a problem with the Morgan mic. The Morgan mic allows you to speak any language fluently, just by holding it up to your mouth. Oh, konbanwa, Sean-kun. Genki da?
Genki da yo. Anata?
Ah, genki desu.
Hi. Wait. Konnichiwa.
Oh. Have you ever wanted the voice of a documentary speaker? Well, now you can.
I'm Sam Beale, and I sound like a documentary speaker.
Buy yours today, only $19.99. Buy now.
The Complete Works of William Shakespeare Abridged is a play of all of Shakespeare's finest work. It combines all of his plays and stories into one work of art in a matter of 2 hours with an intermission in between. In the mix of all the news about this play, I got the chance to meet the infamous Sam Beale. He is an experienced theatrical actor, having been in multiple plays before. It's an honor to get the chance to meet him. Taking only 1 minute of his time, I asked for a quick interview about the play.
Okay. It's a pleasure to meet you, Sam Beale. Now I have a few questions. What role do you take in this play?
Well, the original was done with only 3 roles in mind, but the cast is all these roles are being divided amongst 14 people, so some parts are bigger than others. So essentially, I'm really just the Shakespearean scholar, and everything Shakespeare, I know about it.
Interesting.
And with all the work put in for a play that only originally took 3 people, how were the practices? How long did they take?
Well, our time was less than it usually was, only about 9 weeks or so. So we pretty much had rehearsals every day, and that usually went from 3 to 5. It was a lot of work. It was pretty tiring, and they only got longer and more tougher as time went by.
Interesting. And was the play, for all the hard work and concentration put into it, would you say the play is worth it?
I think it is. It's going to be a lot of fun, and people are going to like it. At least I hope they do.
Excellent. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
This year, NHS and the Student Council of Farmington High School are teaming up to really make a difference. The goal of this group effort is to create a drive called Can Your Principal. Aptly named for their ambition, they aim to fill their principal, Ms. Kaminsky's office, to the point that she won't be able to enter even the door. They hope to collect at least 2,014 cans in honor of the senior class this year. All cans will then be donated to a charity organization of good fellows in order to help those in our community. They cannot do this alone, though, and are involving the whole student body to bring the cans together and reach this goal. If everyone can bring at least 2 cans, they will be able to exceed their goal and in the process, help our community.
Lately, there's been a lot of hype about Detroit's mayoral elections, and we finally have a winner. Mike Duggan has recently been elected as the next mayor of Detroit, beating out his opponent, Benny Napoleon. As the first white mayor of Detroit in 40 years, Duggan is bringing fresh ideas to a bankrupt city. The financial difficulties of the city will be a big problem for the Democratic mayor, and all of his fiscal decisions must be approved by Kevin Orr, the city's emergency manager, who has ultimate control over Detroit's budget. Many things in Detroit need part of that budget. There are 78,000 vacant buildings in the Motor City, and parts of the city are dark at night, hovered over by broken streetlights. Duggan's plan for action includes enforcing code violations, reducing blight, and making opening businesses in Detroit a much easier process by creating a Department of Neighborhoods. He wants to move families out of neighborhoods where there are 4 or less homes by offering them financial incentive to move to a more crowded area. Empty homes that have been foreclosed by the bank will be seized by the Detroit government. Duggan has a record for turnaround after he saved the floundering Detroit Medical Center from a $500 million deficit, job cuts, and possible hospital closures in 2003. Voters will be watching closely to make sure Duggan keeps his record and saves the struggling Detroit from its bankruptcy.
Jennifer Lawrence, the 23-year-old Hunger Games actress, recently replaced her long, well-known brown mane with a short and fun blonde pixie cut. Her reasoning? She recently stated, "I cut it earlier and it was just kind of like shoulder length, and it grew to that awkward, gross length. I just kept putting it back in a bun, and I said, well, I don't want to do this, so I just cut it off." How do her co-stars feel about this new hairdo? Sam Claflin, who played Finnick Odair in Catching Fire, the Hunger Games sequel, said, "I think it looks fantastic. It really suits her. Lawrence cut her hair because, quote, it couldn't get any uglier, unquote, and Catching Fire director Francis Lawrence has decided to take some of the blame for her previously damaged hair. I was always saying, dye your hair, we need your hair dyed, no wigs," he said. And then, of course, dyeing her hair fried her hair, so she had to cut her hair. "At first I didn't realize it was messed up," he continued. "I thought she was cutting it just to wear wigs to make me mad, but it wasn't the case. We actually fried her hair, which is sad. I feel bad. But no need for blame, because long hair or short hair, Jennifer Lawrence always looks good."
Recently at Farmington High School, a Halloween contest called Classic Horror Novel Trivia took place. In the case before you are clues of different books of horror genre, and the contestants are to guess the novels they are, and the winner of it receives a prize. Let's see how this interview went down. Alright, Neil, so I heard you entered the Classic Horror Novel Trivia contest, right? So, I just have a few questions for you. How did you learn about the contest, and how did you get involved?
The announcements.
The announcements.
And I saw all the clues in the box.
Okay. And how did you come up with the answers for all the clues?
I watch a lot of movies.
Movies.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you think you would win the contest upon entering?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know like 2 people entered.
Okay. And what prize did you get?
Got a hat.
A hat.
That doesn't fit my head.
Would you do this contest again?
Yeah, definitely. So I get my name set over the announcements.
Okay, cool.
I feel important.
Okay.
And there you have it. Neil Duglokinski, the winner of the contest. Who knew that you could win a contest based off of books through watching movies?
A bond proposal directed towards the budget of local Farmington schools was denied by voters this past month. But would it have truly been beneficial should it have been passed? If the bonds were passed, then over $180 million worth of taxes would be dedicated towards improving and benefiting our local schools and classrooms. Among these said changes would have been the classroom and auditoriums being remodeled and replacements of old technologies and old equipments. The bonds were well on their ways to being passed, but both of the proposals lost by less than 1%, with almost a 300 vote difference. One of the bill's supporters, Superintendent Sue Zervalek, said, "We believe that it was absolutely critical need for our students, our schools, our staff, and those needs have not gone away. However, those needs will be decided on what the future voters choose in future polls." And that ends our news for today. Please join us again next time on the Oasis Pack News.